Good morning, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Okun. I'm talking about work in the United Kingdom. If you live in the UK, if you live outside the United Kingdom, if you live in Europe or in another continent, pay also attention because we operate our economies under the global system. And I'm so excited to be here this morning. We are on Saturday. This is Saturday in the United Kingdom. Leave a comment below which part of the world you are watching this video from. I am so excited this morning, and I'm talking about work in the United Kingdom. And leave a comment below. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed. And leave a comment over and over again. Positive comment, negative comment. Be nice about whatever you say. Watching this video, share with family and friends, and also watch this video and the rest of the other videos which I produced alongside this video. This video is mainly on work in the United Kingdom, and particularly we have been talking about pay in the United Kingdom. When you work for a living, you also get paid, and there are different elements to payment, from the employers to employees of different categories at law. And looking at the law in the United Kingdom, you can visit gov.uk website and find out what information you may be interested in finding out. And also you can look at the charitable organizations which is supportive of issues of employment. And employment law deals with issues of dispute, and also of rights and obligations in terms of work, in terms of pay. And this is what we are talking about, and we've been talking about this for a while, and in its different measures and also elements. And watching this, obviously continue with the other videos, connecting this and the rest of the video. And our people are sick and they cannot work because they are fallen sick. There are laws in the United Kingdom to allow employers to pay employees who qualify in one way or the other. Well, like I said, watching this video, watch with the rest of the video because the information are connected. Alternatively, you can visit gov.uk if you're in the United Kingdom. If you are outside the United Kingdom, in Europe, America, or Asia, or also Africa, and because of globalization, systems are now being harmonized, and states are cooperating to work closely one with another, and also compromising on their sovereignty. And you can read online on the concept of sovereignty. Sovereignty gives power to nation states of the world, and provide power, strengths, including independence, autonomy, and all those economic independence. Deciding, being your own boss, basically, as a country. That's what sovereignty is about. But with globalization, we are now giving up some of our powers within nation states to be global worlds, global countries, and also global societies and community worlds without borders. So we're creating the global village. We live in exciting times, and employment is extremely important. To succeed in your life, you must work. And employment is part of work. Self-employment is also a type of work, and there are different types at law and policy describing different aspects. Statutory sick pay, for example. There are other contractually based. We have now still talk about statutory sick pay in relation to different employment statuses. Thanks so much for attending this morning, and this weekend starting today on Saturday. And thank you so much. And we have, when people are off sick more than once, and what happened then? I mean, these are issues involving employees which are involving sometimes dispute issues we need to deal with. If they become difficult, then normally you go to legal experts, lawyers or legal advisors who are really specialists in these fields, because employment is a specialist area in legal criminal law. I am not a specialist in employment law or in any law at all, so I'm good to go. And if I can talk to you about this, you can talk to it about yourself. And if you are working, if you are a young person, if you are an adult, because anytime you can be faced with challenges at work, and it is so important that you should be able to address some of the situation. And for example, here, if you are off sick more than once, and then it counts as a single period of incapacity for work. If your absence, if your absences each 4 or more days in a row, so you have to be sick you have to be off sick for more than once, and for it to count as a single period of incapacity for work. And if your absences should be your absences are each 4 or more days in a row. You either sick off sick for 4 days or for more days in a row. Say maybe Monday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that. Sick consecutively, as it is also, and also the absences takes place within 4 weeks of each other. So if you are 4 weeks today and you are sick today, and you're sick today and you're sick tomorrow, you're sick tomorrow next, within 4 weeks, 8 weeks of each other. 4 weeks of each other. I mean, if you're sick today, you count 8 weeks, and sick again 8 weeks. I don't know what they're talking about, because the absences take place within 8 weeks. So your absence are within 8 weeks of each other. I don't know what they're talking about, because these are some of the conditions. Are you sick today and you are not sick? Are you absent today and you are not absent for another 8 weeks, and 8 weeks again you are sick and you are absent? I don't know, click on below, because these are some of the complications which involve employment law. The languages are so convoluted. So this is called linking period. And linking period, leave a comment below if you know what a linking period is. It means you don't have to wait 3 days to get paid statutory pay. So if you don't have to wait 3 days, and if it is a linking period, and if you have been sick 4 days or more days in a row, your absence your absence is each 4 weeks, 4 or more days in a row. So your 4 days absent today, and also maybe you're consecutively absent today for 4 days, maybe next week and the other weeks for 8 weeks, and let's say you're being absent for 4 days in a row or more in a row, and this has been for 4 weeks, and then another 4 weeks, another 4 weeks, and another 4 weeks. 8 weeks, and then you get a linking period. You get a linking period, and it also means you don't have to wait for 3 days, but you might wait for 3 days, even if you meet the condition of linking period. I have no clue what these things are, leave a comment below, but these are some of the specific rules, conditions for getting sick. You have to get sick, and you also have to get be in a position to get statutory sick pay, because we are trying to find out if you are sick, and being sick, if you are able to get statutory sick pay. Probably talk about a 0-hour contract as well, and that is why sometimes policy makers try to really stretch the meaning of concepts and also of words, such that because you see, like I said yesterday, in the other videos, say statutory sick pay should be scrapped. The government should scrap statutory sick pay. Any other payment, such as statutory sick pay or any sickness payment, which is paid by employer. Remember, if you work for a living, if you are being paid by your employer and you are sick, this is what we are talking about. If your employer is supposed to pay you, I think it should stop. The law should be changed. You should go to the government direct and get paid by the Department of Work and Pension. The first day you are sick of work, if you are sick and you are not being paid, your employer not paying your salary, and you are off sick and you're not being paid salary, you should be eligible for government money from the Department of Work and Pension, not from employers, especially employers who are small and medium in business. And this is a problem which you need to try and discuss with your member of parliament in the United Kingdom. If you live in the UK, of course, as you might be living in the United Kingdom, discuss it with your member of parliament. Let your member of parliament raise it in parliament, and let the parliament put pressure on the government to scrap statutory sick pay, because it's so complex. It's a problem which is unnecessary, and the pay is so low. Although arguably, if you get low pay necessarily, you might be able to complement it by some other form of benefit from the government. But like I already said, the level of benefit being paid to British people is extremely low, and if you're already sick and you're losing out, the statutory sick pay itself level is so low, the national minimum wage is so low. These are some of the issues I've been raising, that if there are to be changes within the government, that it should involve the level of pay. If you work, if you don't work. And in some countries, they may not understand what benefit means, or maybe welfare benefit means. It means you don't work, and maybe you work and the government pays you some money to live on. And it is common in the developed world. It may not be common in Africa. And it's similar to pension and other payments. If you're in Africa, maybe you get pension, maybe you don't. But the structure of pension, I would say, in Africa, which is a different issue altogether. I mean, this is the United Kingdom specifically. I'm talking about Britain. I can also, comment about things happening around the world, because after all, we are a global world. And leave a comment below if you are in Africa, and if you know anything about money being paid by the government to when you are sick, or maybe you don't have money, you go to the government, say, pay me some money. But they won't pay. They will probably arrest you, because they may not understand. Most African leaders are dictatorial, if they are not dictators. In the military sense. Sometimes, even if they are not military dictatorship, they can be civilly very dictatorial. So let us go back to this statutory sick pay situation. So, if your period of sick are more than 8 weeks apart, we are looking at that. What happens then? Stay tuned. Continue watching. Thank you so much. Sometimes you stay, you incur periods of sick, and they are more than 8 weeks apart. If you are more than 8 weeks apart, it means you are off sick for 8 weeks. You're off sick today, and you wait for more than 8 weeks. Then what happens? Your absences are more than 8 weeks apart. You will start a new period of incapacity. So we're looking at period of incapacity. Incapacity means you're unable to work because of sickness. And when you're off sick, this actually defines your period of incapacity. So if you are off for more than for more than 8 weeks, if you are 8 weeks of sick, you are incapacitated for 8 weeks, and any period after 8 weeks, then you start a new period of incapacitation. This is a complication, in my opinion, which I say is totally unnecessary. It's like reading, writing by aliens or some really weird creatures. I find this really tediously disturbing. And you find a period of incapacity. Then you will have to wait the 3 days again before getting satisfaction. So you are payment because you are sicker than your absence. Period of absence is more than 6 weeks. You're 8 weeks today, and you've been you're been absent, and you're absent today, and then there are 8 weeks passes, and then you're absent again. Then the incapacity period is actually defines your mode of payment, your structure of payments, so to speak, will be disrupted. and then you have to wait because you're starting new. You have to wait. You are not even told why you should wait 3 days. I mean, maybe there are other pieces of information somewhere else. So you will have to wait 3 days a week before getting such sick pay, and we start the count of days of sick up to 28 weeks maximum. So now you're going from 8 weeks to 28 weeks, and you say sick. And then if you can also check if you can get contractual sick pay. We talk about statutory sick pay. This is different from a contractual sick pay. So we already look at it and check if you can get contractual sick pay. And stay tuned, continue watching, and you can read online. Like I said, employment law is very important and very exciting. You can enjoy yourself reading it. The contract might say you can get contractual sick pay, and this is sick pay your employer might pay as well as such a sick pay. In other words, in your life, in your sickness, in your work, we talk about statutory sick pay, you will talk about contractual sick pay. You can get both. What else to talk about? If you are sick, you can get both. But are you going to get that? So how much contractual sick pay you get and how long you get it for will depend on what your contract says. This is the opposite of statutory sick pay, because with statutory sick pay, the government fixed the government fixes the amount you should pay. Now, when you talk about contract, it means it is discretionary. The government, the employer will design a structure, and this structure may define your employment situation in terms of when you are sick, and also when you may need to be paid sick pay, as in contractual sick pay. So you might get a contractual sick pay from your first day of sick. We are talking about the difference, where in one you have to wait for 3 days. I don't know why, I don't know how. Stay tuned, continue watching, but that is what happened, and you get it straight away with contractual sick pay. So far so good. Don't take my word for it. And contractual sick pay cannot be less than £116.75 a week, because this is an amount set by the government statutorily. we have been discussing over and again the difference between statutory obligation and contractual obligation, or relationship for that matter. And if you have been following our discussion by now, you would be as familiar as you are astute in trying to understand what goes on. So your contract doesn't mention sick pay, or you don't have a contract, you should ask your employer. Sometimes you sign contracts in one way or the other, and certain things are not mentioned, and you need to check and check and check. We have mentioned this situation. Okay, you might also find details of contractual sick pay in your staff handbook and internet. If you work for living in the United Kingdom, we have to, during induction into work, you will learn about certain things like staff handbook or internet. Internet is a concept dealing with digitalization of information and communication. Thank you so much. Stay tuned, continue watching. So sometimes your employer doesn't pay your contractual statutory pay. If that's happened, then you should get statutory sick pay from day 4 of being off sick. If you're off sick 4 days and afterwards, then you should be able to get it. In one way or the other, you should be able to get it. It's a case of checking what is happening, and also not leaving things too little, too late, as always. And it's best also to get professional support in terms of advice and also information, so that you are aware. This is important, because work is the most important part of our life. It's not even sickness, because our argument for existence is not sickness. We are not going to wake up one morning, oh, I'm not sick today. No, I'm not going to work. What am I going to do at what time? Am I going to get out, to go to work? So work is our primary source of livelihood, and in terms of also income and contractual sick pay, we are talking about the same. And also going online, you can also check for such sick pay, and also getting more detail on contractual sick pay online, gov.uk, for example, and also public website of Citizen Advice, ACARS. These are actually very useful sources of information if you are curious, if you are facing a situation, if you may be your family, friends, if you're a young person, if you're an adult. Like I've been saying this because sometimes we don't prepare for our life. Employment, work is the most important aspect of your life in terms of the economy, but also in terms of welfare. And this is something we need to understand. And in terms of ordinary people, work is more welfare than economic, because the economic aspect of welfare of work actually benefit big corporations, like people who are also investors, people who are entrepreneurs, people who are multimillionaires and multimillionaires. The economic element of work supports them more than people who work for a living. People work for a living. Work is beneficial in terms of welfare, strictly that, and also welfare in different ways, money, your self-worth, your mental health, feeling good about life, being motivated, which is a good thing. Employment, work, self-employment, and other aspects of work is extremely important in a human person's life, such that activity, being active is extremely important if you live in a country like the United Kingdom, or also some other country where you may be living. And so you can check if you can get a statistic pay in your situation. As always, it's about checking, it's about getting help from experts, and these people have to be specialists. And they are spot on, they are on point, they are highly trained, and that's the only way you can give advice on employment law, to be honest. And if you are actually somebody who would want to really support themselves, because it is extremely expensive to try and get help on employment matter, it's so critical because it's so costly to get legal help, legal support from lawyers, and increasingly, as we have seen, we are actually failing in terms of legal aid, if you like, and especially employment law. You get the least of help. Even just compiling your document, compiling evidence alone for examination, at my employment tribunal, it costs a lot of money already, and you will most certainly not get legal aid for that. And ongoing increasingly legal aid, even though you can get legal aid under certain circumstances within different elements, including employment law. The practicality of getting it is so difficult. Like we talk about statistic pay, and if it is so difficult, it's so complex, the process to get it is so complex. It is as well almost to say it's almost potentially you might not even get paid if you get an employer who is really keen to be really unhelpful. But in practice, most employers are decent. But we do not need to rely on individual decency, because if you look at small and medium businesses, they run in a really precarious way, because they want to save money as much as possible, because statutory sick pay, contractual sick pay is a burden the government gives on employee or on an employer, unnecessarily. It should be taken away from small and medium businesses, and also any type of business. You work for a living, you are sick, you are not working. Keep on repeating this line of information. You go straight to the government. The government has to have a policy of accessing benefits straight away until you recover from sickness. And how long you are sick, the level of benefit should go up. The level of including pay if you work, including sickness pay, should go up. I would say you can be sick for 8 months, for 6 months, or for a full year. You should get at least a minimum of £20,000 per annum. I am even saying this from the top of my head, because that will barely get you out of poverty, given the cost of living, which has gone up and is going up and up. Once things like the cost of living goes up, it will never come back. There's no basis. The system is weak in terms of cost, in terms of benefit. If you lose benefit in terms of maybe work or whatever, you lose more and more and more and more. If the cost you face the cost goes up, the benefit in the community. I mean, societies. You are in a society like modern society. If you are faced with costs, the costs keep going up, 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 up. The benefit keep going down, down, down. So it's chaos. But that is what the market system provides, because it's like a jungle. The laws are random, and its enforceability is lacking, because the people in power are actually they are laws into themselves, and they are effectively therefore above the law by virtue of their being in power. These powerful rich people, like, I don't want to mention names really, you know, go online and search who is the richest. They are worth in hundreds of billions of US dollars. And this is some serious wealth. You accuse me of being envious, so be it. But you know, inequality is evidence of cultural failure. I've been talking about cultural economy, and watch the rest of the video. Watching this one also, I will be speaking about respect and valuing humanity. This is so important, and if we re-educate ourselves in terms of cultural competences, then we're going to be really doing far better. But I think it's a major, is probably only medicine to peace. Because if we are not peaceful, we are not going to be happy. It doesn't matter how rich we are. A lot of rich people now who are committing suicide, they are so sad, they are so miserable, they are really suffering. And this is really bad, because we are humans, we are our brothers and our sisters keepers. We need to learn our culture, we need to respect one another, we need to respect our life and the life of the rest of the world. As simple as that, but it's not that simple, because it involves humanity, it involves learning, and being patient is going to take time, but we need to sow a seed now. If you are watching this and think about cultural economy, try to investigate respect for people, valuing people, that is what it is. That is the basis of it. But the learning and also the developing it provide an economy. That is the basis. The root is actually changing the way we think, and also the way we treat information, the way we learn, the way we manage our society, the way we, you know, perceive life. The whole system needs to really change on the cultural front. We have to prioritize humanity. If you are rich, if you are poor, we are all in this together. So thank you so much for being so patient and for being around. We are still a small program, but we are on our way. The progress sometimes takes long, and yes, we are here to stay. We are so privileged having to speak about specifics, such as looking at statistic pay and the situation of work in the United Kingdom, and also relating us to the human element of life, which I try to do. And leave a comment below, let me know what you think about this material and these approaches. So we're looking at statistic pay, we're looking at taking responsibility to check, we are looking at trying to get help from professionals if you can, and like I said, I keep repeating this, funding is really a major problem with big organizations, even like Citizen Advice, even like ACAS, even like a lot of debt advisors. And because, you know, poverty is associated with income, and also how to manage income in terms of maybe debt, and also financial capability, budgeting, and all these bits and pieces. We are rich in information, we are rich in expertise on almost everything. Our attitude and our lack of education in terms of culture is the problem. We live like, you know, we are so poor. It's like we live in a world where the life is so bad. We are not supposed to be like that. We are supposed to be happy because we are richer. We are, technology is about to take over society. We are not talk about work. Work is going to be taken away from society, literally, because of technology, and that is our achievement, so that we can do other things. We can do exploration, we can do research, but with some machines which are intelligent, artificial intelligence, may even be doing our research. Maybe they will be our entertainers, playing some nice music, and we are just sitting there as like multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires. Everybody will be having time, you know, people will be theoretically, but you see, we're talking about wealth, we're talking about development. But the thing we might not be able to talk about is our culture. Because if we are rich, if technology matures and frees us, for example, from work, from most diseases, you know, medical problems, will be solved by artificial intelligence and all the other range of technology, which the pace of change in technological arena is so fast and impressive, which is a sign of hope. But there is also a risk we are going to weaponize technology. We are now doing our priorities to manufacture warfare, and that is disturbing because we can destroy ourselves even faster. We can accelerate the pace of destruction even quicker with wealth, with technology. So our culture is really important to try and rescue us from ourselves. And I have avoided conducting this program, and also at the same time avoiding pessimism and being miserable. But these are realities. We can ignore certain things at our own risk. We are talking about employment, we talk about work in the United Kingdom. Leave a comment below, let me know what you think. So we talk about self-isolation because of coronavirus. This is part of a statutory sick pay situation or contractual sick pay. Talk about in terms of self-isolation because of coronavirus. We have stopped talking about coronavirus in the main domain of society, but coronavirus is still there. Even now, a lot of people are taking precautions because there are long COVID going on. A lot of people are dying actually because of long COVID. And if you are an elderly person, we show it with Joe Biden. President Joe Biden caught COVID-19, and we are sitting now not really considering situations involving coronavirus. So the government have ended the laws about self-isolation. So that is the law. Self-isolation has ended, but coronavirus is still there. This means you won't legally have to self-isolate, but the government still recommends you to self-isolate if you test positive for coronavirus. Recommendation is not an instruction, but it is actually if you are tested positive for coronavirus, you are recommended. This recommendation for self-isolation, like Joe Biden did in America. If you are able to work, you don't have the right to get such a sick pay because you are self-isolating or you have got coronavirus. Because the thing, you can work from home remotely, like we did during coronavirus period, COVID-19. People were working from home. They were self-isolating also by instruction other than by advice. So they were being paid sick pay for being sick and being sick and of work. But now you can be sick and of work. You can work from home. Then you're not going to get sick pay, especially if you are self-isolating from coronavirus, but you continue to work. And so you don't have the right to get sick pay because you are self-isolating or you have got coronavirus. It's how it affects your health conditions, which they are talking about here. They talk about you may be sick, but if you are not, you are sick and still able to work, maybe from home. If you are self-isolating, you are not going to get sick pay because you will be paid as a normal working people. And a lot of people I know from long COVID, which is not mentioned probably here, which is a very dangerous thing. Long COVID can, bring conditions of high blood pressure, diabetes, also kidney failure, all sort of other. A lot of people are dying of long COVID. Leave a comment below if you are affected by long COVID. And thank you so much. We talk about pay in the United Kingdom if you work for a living. So, and if you're too ill to work, the normal rules about getting sick pay normally apply, like I said already. And therefore, if you want to work less hours after illness or surgery, sometimes people get sick and they are impacted by surgery or illnesses. They can decide to work less hours, and if you have been of work for surgery or or a long illness, you might want to work less hours for a while. For example, working 3 days a week instead of your normal 5 days a week working. This is called phased return to work. These are terminologies: phased return to work, which is like you are under monitoring. If a doctor can write a fit note that recommends you work less hours a week while you recover. This may or may not relate to statutory pay, depending on what you are doing with your employer, because these concepts are distorted as a principle of helping people who are sick. Because normally there are situations, statutory sick pay is actually temporary, because if you're sick, say maybe for 9 months, I think, then it stops automatically anyway. That means you work, if you're working part-time, you will be claiming normal benefit from the government, including sickness payment, like personal independence payment, which also I have a problem with, because there shouldn't be sickness payment. There should be just payments for people who need help, whether you're sick or not sick, because why complicate the system? And if you come below, you think you live in the UK and you think the system is complicated. So you can work out your pay and sick pay while working less hours. So it can be worked out. Thank you so much. So you should get your normal pay on the days you work, and sort of sick pay on the days you don't work. Like I said already. So you have to have 4 days in a row of sick to get statutory sick pay. You have to be away for 4 days because of sickness, without any break in between. And to get statutory sick pay, this includes Saturday and Sunday. So you might want to take Monday and Tuesday as your sick leave days. You can choose. If you only take 1 day as your sick leave day, you won't get statutory sick pay for that day. For example, you take Monday as your sick leave day and work Tuesday and Friday. So your pay might be less while you work for less hours. You might also get less statutory sick pay and contractual sick pay. You should discuss with your employer what your pay, statutory sick pay and contractual sick pay will be during period your phased return. Is a good idea to get this in writing. If you get information from one place or another, in writing you are looking for evidence when you need to prove one thing or another, because we are humans. We can forget things, or we can actually deny things even if we remember them. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. So sometimes
some see the original, mighty the god, the magical radical. Hey, representing my magical. Young Jose, come million. Wacha, that difta. You know, teach me, can you let me go far? That wacha, you know, damage me, can you let me go wacha? That difta. You know, teach me, can you let me go far? That difta. You know, damage me, can you? Come to the camera, come on, there we are there for the bed. We have a day, you're my baby. Every day I call you, my door, you're my treasure. Baby, got your machina, baby, quackano, but it's about some cola. Baby, got your machina, baby, got your quara. You are said bandana, you must say bandana, you must say bandana. Baby, got your tema, come and quackala. Whatever, put it on my baby. When Motema Banga and I call you my lover. Baby, got your chawanjo, baby, got your.
So let us look at phased return to work. Make sure you are in a situation where you don't lose out on money, because sometimes if you don't pay close attention, you can lose out on money for days. You work. You are entitled to your normal pay. If you work, you are entitled to your normal pay. So for days you are off, you might be still be entitled to either construction statistic pay, checking your a contract or with checking also your employer, and also you can be entitled to statistic pay as we say, and as long as the time you are not at work lasts for at least 4 days. Look about a 4 days windows. You are off work because of incapacitated state or status, because due to sickness, you will be entitled if it is at least 4 days in a row. So any days you get a sick pay will count towards your 28 week maximum. Talk about 28 week maximum. You can work out your statistic pay on gov.uk. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Continue watching. So you're looking at somebody of sick for 6 weeks, for example, 6 weeks, and got statistic pay at times. That individual normally works full time Monday to Friday as an example. So there is an agreement with the employer to return to work on a phase period basis, basis. So for the first 2 weeks back, you come in 3 days a week, Wednesday to Friday. The third week, you work 4 days, Tuesday to Friday. From your fourth week, you return to working full time Monday to Friday. This is the scenario for the first 2 weeks. You get a statistic pay for Monday and Tuesday. This is because you are classed as being sick for 4 days in a row: Saturday, Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday. Stay tuned. Continue watching. Thank you so much. So you also get your normal pay for working on Wednesday and Friday in your third week back. You don't get statistic pay for the Monday, Wednesday to Friday. In your third week, you don't get statistic pay for the Monday, as you don't you have been sick for 4 days in a row, like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So you get your normal pay for working on Tuesday and to Friday. When you return to work full time, you get your normal pay. Stay tuned. Continue watching. When you are pregnant, and if you get sick pay, dependence. It depends on your illness, whether it is related to your pregnancy or not. So if you are sick because you are pregnant, and then you get sick pay, you can read more on getting sick when you are pregnant, and sometimes you are sick because of pregnancy. I don't know what happens to you. Probably you don't get sickness pay. You get maternity pay instead. If you are returning to work after getting maternity pay, if you become sick before or during your maternity pay period, you won't get such a sick pay until 8 weeks after your maternity pay ends. You are getting maternity pay because pregnancy is treated like sickness, but it's not really treated like sickness because it's named differently. If you become sick after your maternity pay period ends, you can get a statistic pay if you are entitled to the same. So if you are in the hospital, your eligibility criteria can be checked for statistic pay, and also you should get it during any time you have to stay in the hospital. So the information is, if you're in the hospital, you can get statistic pay during that period. If you're in hospital to have planned surgery, you should still get statistic pay to your time for your time in the hospital and your recovery time at home. Planned surgery is also called effective surgery, elective surgery. Stay tuned, continue watching. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And thank you so much for watching. And subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed. Leave a comment below. If you watch this video, share with family and friends. Thank you so much. So if you have more than one employer, and if you are an employer and you have more than one employer, you can get statistic pay from each one of these employer. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 employers and you're sick, you can't work to each one of them. You can get statistic pay from each one of these. Treat each employer as if they were your only employer to see if they should pay you statistic pay. If you're in late, means you can do one of your jobs but not the other. You could get a statistic pay from one while getting your normal wages from the other. You should ask your doctor to explain this on your fit note. So these are things which may or may not be complicated. I find them to be really tediously, irritatingly complicated. If you are getting your pension, if you work and get your state pension or a workplace pension, you can still get a statistic pay. So your state pension are means tested benefit, as well as workplace pension. So you are paid because you are working, and you are not getting means tested benefit. So if you cannot get statistic pay, you might be able to get a pension credit. Pension credit is a means tested benefit, which is the opposite of state pension and also work pension as such. So you can check if you can get pension credit. If you don't get enough state pension in the first instance, then you top up with pension credit, which is means tested. If you're working already, then it depends how you're working, you might not get state pension credit. But if your statistic pension, if your statistic pay is as low as to allow you to get pension credit, then that is okay. You can get pension credit. But the pension credit, statistic pay, sick pay relates to when you're working. So if you are a pensioner, you are working and maybe part-time and also perhaps not getting state pension or getting state pension and pension and work pension also, you may still get pension credit and statistic pay as well. And in that situation, if you have a disability or illness that makes it hard for you to look after yourself, you might also be able to get attendance allowance. Attendance allowance are benefits for pensioners. For pensioners, which is means tested, you could get it in theory, and it's similar to what do you call it? Attendance allowance is non-means tested. You can get it as a sickness benefit. If you are a pensioner, it's non-means tested. You can have as much money as you can, and you can get attendance allowance if you are actually a pensioner. It's the same with personal independence payment for people under pension age. There's also you have disability living allowance for children. So this is what I'm saying, that these are all benefits intended to help people on low income in the first place. But there is a benefit caveat, like attendance allowance, which you can get even if you are a multi-billionaire, which you don't actually normally get because the process of getting it is so complex that it's a mockery of sick people or of sickness in terms of the law or policy. So what if you are on a strike and you are in a situation and you can get sick pay? If your sickness started before the industrial action trade dispute became, you fell sick before the strike, industrial action. How about afterward? You can't get sick pay if your illness started when you were already off work because of a trade dispute. That is the law, which is wrong. You might still get other form of benefit, but you might not be able to get benefit if you're not at work because you are at a trade dispute, because the Department of Work and Pension might argue that you are intentionally not working, and these are some of the areas the Labour government should take a review. If the industrial or trade dispute is anything to talk about, because with the trade union reform, I don't see that happening. But it is a good thing to dream, and dreams are always valid. So you might be able to claim employment support allowance (ESA) instead. Employment support allowance is means tested. And this I'm talking about. If you go and claim employment support allowance, it has to be, you cannot make a new claim now of employment support allowance. You can get a sickness element of universal credit instead. You can apply for sickness element of universal credit. But what you can apply for a new style employment support allowance, which is actually contribution based. You can check if you can get ESA, contribution based, not income related. So if you have more than one contract with the same employer, you may be working for the same employer, but you have different contracts. Maybe you want more than one contract, depending on how your employer pays your national insurance contribution. You have two contracts with the same employer, and in that situation, you will get statistic pay from each job. If your employer's national insurance contribution are paid separately from each contract, and you can also get statistic pay once if the earnings from each contract are added together to calculate the employer's national insurance contribution. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. So if you are in a situation where your earnings are added together for national insurance contribution, you only get a statistic pay if you cannot work under all of your contracts. If you cannot work in all of your contracts, so you can get out from professionals if you are in a situation, and also you might be in a situation also facing insolvency with your employer, and so if the employer is insolvent and cannot pay statistic pay owed to their employee, then the employer is liable to pay any statistic pay for the period before insolvency date. So the period commencing after the insolvency will not probably be paid. If the contract ends with insolvency, entitlement to the statistic pay ends at the same time. The employer should give the you statistic pay one, so you can claim employment support allowance and Department of Work and from the Department of Work and Pension. Like I said, it has to be contribution based, because for new claimants, you get on a new style employment and support allowance, which is a type of benefit you get when you are sick. Aside, so statistic pay, we are talking about sickness, of course. So if the contract doesn't end, any statistic pay due from the insolvency date is HMRC responsibility. So you probably get paid from the tax office, which is His Majesty Revenue and Customs. It is their responsibility. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. And if your employer says you cannot get statistic pay, as your employer to give you a written explanation for their reasonings, and they should give you this on a form called statistic pay, and an employee's claim for benefit statistic pay one form. So you should be given the form within 7 days of you going off sick. Talk about sickness and sickness payments. You will need a statistic pay form to claim benefit. For one reason or another, being sick and working doesn't automatically mean you're going to get paid your employer, but if that happens, then you need to get your employer you have to get a form, SSP1, Statutory Sick Pay Form 1, and if your employer hasn't given you some form Statutory Sick Pay 1, you should first ask them for a written statement explaining why you cannot get a Statutory Sick Pay. You could also give them a copy of the form to fill in. You can get the Statutory Sick Pay Form 1 from gov.uk. You can also get that form online if you are in a situation, but normally the barrow working person needs to know why the employer will not be able to pay you Statutory Sick Pay. That's why I previously said this is a bad policy. If the government is keen on helping people who are sick, then they should also allow some type of differentiation between if you're working for a living and if you're not working for a living, being sick or otherwise. If you cannot get a form SSP1 or a written statement from your employer, they contact HMRC's Statutory Payment Dispute Team. We talk about dispute. There's a team. There's a statutory payment dispute team with the tax office. They will ask your employer why they think you are not entitled to Statutory Sick Pay. So these are actually very complicated processes, and so distressful for somebody who is already sick. And I don't really understand the mind of a government when they are trying to help people who are really needing help. Because if you are sick, and you are probably facing eviction from your home. You can't buy food. You probably don't have even money to pay your bills. And this is what you get. And leave a comment below if you think this is right or not right. So you will need to have this information ready when you talk to HMRC. You talk about the tax offices, and like all things public offices, you may struggle to even get through on the phone. I mean, the process of getting through to speak to somebody on the HMRC may take weeks, sometimes months, because they don't have resources. They are public bodies. So you normally, in terms of the kind of information you will be looking for is actually your name, address, and national insurance number, your employer's name and contact details, your payroll number, details of when you are off sick, when your employer said when you ask for SSP and the SSP1 form, HMRC Statutory Pay Dispute Team. The telephones are online. If you are interested, if you are not interested, stay tuned. Continue watching there for the numbers. Let me say, probably they are probably free number. I'm not so sure. It doesn't say, but the offices are open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. On Friday they are open 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can check this information online regularly. So there are all the information are there. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. And therefore, if you think your employer is wrong, we're going to stop this material here and see you in the next material. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed. Leave a comment below. Click like, click notification bell for more. Alert to be alerted for more videos. And also, if you watch this video, watch with the rest of the video, and also share with family and friends so that you can enjoy what is a fantastic content. We are a work in progress. We are few, but we are happy. The more the merrier, the bigger the better, and that is our aim. I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.